Good morning, everyone. It is Sunday, July 16th. Welcome to Morning Hair. I know. You're expecting me to do something for Game of Thrones because finally Game of Thrones starts tonight. And I wanted to, but I didn't wake up with the Game of Thrones hair. I woke up with the Confessor hair. And so as someone who has the Confessor's hair, I have to confess some bad thing that I've done. And there's just so many to pick from. Let's see. I would say that, okay, here's the worst thing I did. I've done two bad things in classroom as a classroom teacher. The first is about 20 years ago, I stopped a class and I had like a student rebellion because they said, what is all this stuff? You're not teaching us anything that's useful in life. Teach us a life lesson, Mr. Hargrove. And so they just went on and on about life lessons. So I finally said, okay, here's your life lesson. How many of you guys have ever been tempted, really tempted, to take money from your dad's billfold? Well, 6, 7, 8 hands went up. And I said, good. Here's your life lesson. If the temptation to take money from your dad's billfold is so overwhelming you have to do it, take a lot. Because if you take a 1 or a 5, he'll suspect you. But if you take 50 or 100, he'll blame your mom. That was not a good idea. Who knew they'd do it? Anyway, the great parental crime wave of 1992, that was my fault. Sorry about that. And the other thing was, sometimes I'll just go off on strange paths just to see where they lead. For instance, we had the word scapegoat. Now, we all know what a scapegoat is, but middle school students, for them it was the first time to see it, scapegoat. And I've done this twice, by the way, because I did it up here with high school students too, that I told my middle school students that where the word scapegoat comes from is that people used to have goats to walk along the back 40 to clean up brush and grass and stuff. And every now and then people who would be responsible for picking up fences and stuff would find a fence that was down. And they would blame the land scapegoats. And then they just drop the scapegoat, which is just baloney. I just made that whole thing up. I know. Scapegoat comes from someplace else. Anyway, if you wake up with a confessor, you gotta, confess. Hey, it's a Game of Thrones moment. Confess. I wonder what happens later this season. Probably nothing nice. Hey, have a good day, and I will see you guys tomorrow, and we'll talk about what happened on episode 1, season 7, Game of Thrones.